On this week's GTA 6 o'clock, GTA 5 update gives us a glimpse of GTA 6. But you can choose to be in online either in GTA 6 City or in GTA 5 City. What's behind Rockstar's latest film promotion?
It's the wildest thing. It feels unprecedented.
And is the industry secretly confirming the fall 2025 release date?
What the publishers are doing are acting in a way that shows they believe that GTA is coming.
It's all here on this week's GTA 6 o'clock. Hello, GTA fans, and welcome to episode 64 of GTA 6 o'clock, the world's most in-depth and best connected GTA 6 show. Today, I want to kick off by saying thank you to everyone who commented on last week's show and suggested locations we could use for recording future episodes. This week, we are in the regular studio, but rest assured, we have heard you. Changes are coming. Watch this space. Today, however, we have lots to cover, so let's get into it by letting you know that I'm James JJ Jarvis, and I'm joined today by Dan Dawkins.
Guten Tag.
Hello, Dan. There's been some ripples in the GTA community in the last week, so I think we should kick off by discussing the first thing, which is the bandwagon jumping that has been the trailer 2 date of a late March, early April suggestion, which has all come from, I quote, some of the oldest and most respected creators, a new rumor from a credible source, some of the most respected content creators and journalists within the Grand Theft Auto community, and according to insiders and release patterns, it's GTA 6 o'clock. Yes, we've reached the stage when we're reporting on our own news.
Yeah, and now we can analyse the reporting on our own news in a moment of beautiful media inception.
Yeah, so we should cover this slightly now.
Yes.
The things that, obviously this has come from the newsletter that we launched last week, which you can sign up for. Probably Dan's going to fill you in on those details in a minute, but new sign-up things will come on our Twitter soon. But the information in that newsletter was that we had heard and had been talking for a while that we think the end of March, early April is a good time for when we should expect trailer 2 to arrive. We've been saying this for a few weeks, maybe even months on the podcast. So it's not like new information that was in the newsletter, but it was just in a different format that people have now picked up on. So first up, sign up for the newsletter. Dan, how can people sign up for the newsletter?
Well, okay, so the newsletter's live. We are part of a large multinational corporation of which I control a tiny bit, right? The bit we've controlled, we've done. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of linking work being done in the background with our tech maestros. So if you keep your eye on our Twitter account, which is actually at GTAV o'clock. Is that correct, James?
Yes,
I've not
correct.
got it wrong. Yeah, because that's what it used to be in the GTA 5 days. So follow at GTAV o'clock on X, and then we will share a really good link for sharing the newsletter with your friends and putting it out, that kind of thing. I haven't got it right now. We will have it this week.
By next week's show, hopefully, we'll be able to have a URL for you that is whatever.
Yes.
And then you just click it and you can go.
And it can be embedded in the show comments and all that sort of thing. So, and and if you've not seen last week's newsletter, check our X feed. You can catch up with it. It's what we say in the show with a bit more context and a few outlinks and that kind of thing. So I think for regular show listeners, it won't be like, oh my God, what's this? But it does build on that. And it's released one day later, same time, 6 p.m. GMT, adds a little bit more context. And I think what's happened in this scenario, as we'll get into, is it's reached a new audience.
Hooray,
which is good. And that was the point of it, to reach a new audience. But that comes with an extra layer of being more famous and more accountable. So we can talk a bit about that.
Yeah. So as we said, the newsletter pointed out late March, early April release. Now, I've seen some people trying to link this up with a few theories. One of them is the t-shirt theory, which was the t-shirt that was released in GTA Online that showed a 12/5/23 date, which was the release of trailer 1. It also has another potential date on there, which is 04/01/25, which would be April the 1st. And now people are trying to link that date back to the original date and saying, look, both dates were on the t-shirt for the whole time. We've got the release date for trailer 1 in here. And now what's this other date? Well, it's not the release of the game because that's a way off. Could it be the release date for trailer 2? I would suggest that this is all confirmation bias building of retrospectively going back and looking at it and finding the date you need to find in the numbers. I'm not saying those numbers aren't there. They definitely are there in that order. But there's a few other instances that you could probably say there's another date in here as well, which doesn't mean anything.
It was not in my thoughts to say we think the trailer is coming late March, early April based on the t-shirt.
No.
I see that as, like you say, confirmation bias-led circumstantial evidence. It's not the reason that I would say or we would believe that it's coming out when it is. I guess we can talk more about the primary reasons we set that date, but for me, it's not the t-shirt, to be clear.
No, and I think we can talk a little bit about April the 1st and what that means. Like April the 1st, I'm sure everybody knows, is April Fool's Day, a day when traditionally jokes are made and things happen.
Yeah.
You know, the Wikipedia would say that it consists of practical jokes and hoaxes. Jokesters often expose their actions by shouting April Fools at the recipient. Mass media can be involved with these pranks, which may be revealed as such the following day. The custom for setting aside a day for playing harmless pranks upon one's neighbor has been relatively common in the world historically. Would you decide to release the second trailer for one of the biggest games ever on a day that has traditionally been used for pranks, jokes, and misdirection? I would suggest, I'm sure it came up, but I would suggest the ultimate answer to that would be no, we should not do this.
No, you shouldn't release anything of any purport or consequence on April the 1st. It is a Tuesday. That's a good day for trailers. It's also April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Don't be #fools. Don't do it, because it would just cause it's trailer 2, lol, or is it? Or they did this on April Fool's. It would completely distort the narrative. So I just don't see a world where that happens.
Now, will we get other people releasing trailers pretending to be GTA trailer 2 on that day? Almost certainly, yes.
Probably, yeah.
I can see there being multiple leaks come out on that day going,
oh, it's going to be the worst day on the internet.
Here's the new trailer. Look, it's coming. Like it's out in 3 hours, but here's the sneak peek. I can also see other companies releasing GTA 6 style trailers in the hope that they get some coverage by saying, oh, look, they're parodying the trailer that doesn't exist for this other game or this drink product or some. There's going to be loads of it, I think.
It's a good day to be running the Goat Sim account, for example, or someone else who's famous for parodies and or pastiche. I don't see it as being April the 1st. I think there's a very outside chance that the t-shirt gets lucky, but I just don't believe it's just too wrought with problems.
I mean, there's also an outside chance that they do it and just, they're flipping everything and going, you know what? Wouldn't it be the biggest joke ever if the trailer that is meant to be fake is actually real? But what I can see them doing is putting out a different trailer, like a GTA Online trailer or something, and you're just like, oh,
that would be sweet. That would be sweet. And if they do the classic, clear the decks on Instagram, send out all these signals, and then just hit people with the most trivial GTA Online update or something.
Yeah,
that would be funny. Or even a GTA Online update that adds a new T-shirt with initials,
some more dates.
That's funny. They could do that. Let's wait and see. I guess the point I would like to make is that the reason we feel emboldened to say late March, early April is largely because of, if it launches in fall 2025, as they said repeatedly publicly, and traditionally they've operated on a 5 to 6 month marketing window, that's the last time they could activate that 5 to 6 month window, pretty much. They are running out of time to do what they traditionally did. Of course, they might change what they did. That is completely possible. We'll also add that it aligns with, we get a lot of tip-offs on the show, and that you can't really speak about them, you can't betray a confidence. You have to assess them based on your experience and the degree of provenance. Some don't stack up. Some are a little bit more believable. And we did have one notable tip-off that was pushing towards April. I don't know if that's true, 100%, but it would align with what I would think anyway.
Yeah.
So I would say all of those factors combined give me a degree of confidence that feels like the right time to do this. I don't know for a fact that it's dropping at the start of April, like factually. And I'll be honest, even if I knew, not only would I not want to say, I probably couldn't say because Rockstar would come and burn me alive.
I'd probably say on April the 1st.
Yeah, April, cover yourself, April the 1st. But this is a difficult bit. I think, there's things that we know or we think we know about the game that you wouldn't want to say anyway as someone who's in the show. The part of the fun is the guessing game. I think it would ruin everything if we came out with an episode that was like GTA 6 ruined.
Well, we wouldn't call it that.
Well, no, we think of a different name. But you know what I mean? I think we still wouldn't want to spill everything because even I think we have an invested interest in mystery and magic and not wanting to spoil everything. So, and I guess also on top of all of this, I'd seen this report, and I don't know if you can add more light to it, James. There was talk of an increase in marketing spend from Take-Two.
It was, yeah, I mean, this has come from the February earnings call, which is another thing that people are linking this back to, if it's going to come out in April, that's the start of, it's already into the new financial quarter for Take-Two. In their February report, they had reported that they're going to increase marketing spending in that quarter and then throughout, for us, what would be 2025, for the rest of this year. The issue with that is that those earning reports cover the whole of Take-Two rather than, it's not just a Rockstar report. So they have to account within that increased marketing spend, marketing for what is now going to be for Mafia, for Borderlands, for WWE 2K25, for GTA Enhanced. If they're going to do any promo around that would have to have some marketing spend in it. And then GTA 6, if it ends up coming out at the end of the year. So, of course, there's going to be increased marketing spend because they've got 3, maybe 4 of their big tentpole games coming out in this 2025 period. So although that number has gone up, I don't think it directly relates to anything that may or may not be happening with GTA at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I didn't see how it was written or reported. I like you say, if it was a really clean thing where they went, here's a graph of marketing expenditure for Rockstar specifically.
Yes.
And we're going to show you Jan, Feb, March. Oh boy, April's massive.
Spending a lot of money in
then
April.
I might think, oh, well, do you know what? Maybe that's a really clear line through. But as to my knowledge, it isn't that. No. I'm pretty sure we would have talked about it sooner if it was. So, yeah, marketing spends is potentially a factor, but in the way it's reported and the fact they've got so many other releases, it's hard to draw a line between the two, really.
And speaking of GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, as we just were, yes, everybody, Rockstar has released GTA 5 for the 5th time. This means we've now had GTA 5 on PS3, Xbox 360 in September 2013.
Yeah.
We then had the re-release on PS4 and Xbox One November 2014. GTA 5 then came to PC in April 2015. The PS5 and Xbox Series X version was March 2022. And now we have got GTA Enhanced on PC March 2025, which is sort of incredible to say, 12 years, the same game has now been released 5 times. It's basically every 2 years you just get another opportunity to buy GTA 5 in a different coat.
It blows my mind. I'd like to think by the time they release the 5th version of GTA 6, I'm no longer working in the video game industry.
Well, we'd be on, by this metric, PlayStation 7 by that point.
It would be 2037.
We've gone through...
I might even be dead.
But we've gone through 2 console generations with the same game.
Yeah.
PS3, PS4, PS5. Now, it's not going to come out on PS6 because GTA 6 will be out by then. But, there's potential for GTA 6 to be definitely PS5, definitely PS6 with the Xbox equivalent.
Yeah.
Possibly into PlayStation 7 or whatever Xbox do
quite feasibly. If a console generation is in the range of 7 to 10 years, we're probably, believe it or not, entering the twilight of PS5. There's rumors of Xbox launching their next console in 2027, which
Yeah.
is a mere 2 years away. Plus, let's say Xbox do another 7 years. Easily, it could be 2 further generations on, or whatever it is. That's kind of wild to me.
It's definitely happening. Like, because those console generations are only going to get shorter as technology improves quicker. So like even this PS5, Xbox Series X and S generation feels shorter because it probably is. Like we haven't, we've just started talking about the new consoles where it doesn't really feel like Xbox Series XS or PS5 has had its like big, tentpole moment. Maybe this year is that year when you suddenly get all of quite a few big games that we'll talk about a bit later that feel like it's okay, the generation is here now. But at the same time, we're talking about, but it's also a bit over because in a couple of years we got new things.
We didn't realize it at the time, but this was the year it peaked. I actually believe that to be kind of true. The only thing I would throw a spoke in that is you might have, I don't know if this is sidebar, but it's interesting. You might have seen Mark Cerny talking to Digital Foundry this week about the PS5 Pro using a new AMD chipset that enables this sort of new AI super sampling, and they've got some games coming in 2027 that will show that off. I'll be completely honest with you. I've watched all the side-by-side comparison videos. It's a bit better.
Yeah.
It's not night and day better. It's noticeably better, but it's not night and day. So I feel that to me feels like twilight of the generation stuff.
Yeah, that's the crossover of like, this is now in your PS5 Pro.
Yeah. Or
it's
PS6.
Yeah. And it's the starting point for PS6. And we're only going to get better from here. But, as we've said before, the generational gap just isn't big anymore. Like you will see these improvements in graphics and fidelity, but it's not going to be a massive leap into something that looks incredible, like PS3 to PS4 jump. I just don't think that's going to happen anymore. It's just going to be a continual, gradual improvement, which is great, but not quite, you are looking at those videos going, that's a bit better, I guess, but it's never going to be loads better anymore, I don't think. All of that said, releasing the GTA 5 Enhanced Edition put Rockstar into Steam's top 10 games that are currently being played twice on that list, because now there are 2 versions of GTA 5 on PC. There is GTA 5 Legacy, and then there is the enhanced version. So even at the time of recording now, GTA 5 Legacy has about 70,000 players currently active, and the enhanced version has 95,000 players currently playing. So it's still within, I think it's in the top 12 currently of games being played on Steam. What it has appeared to do is move people over from the Legacy Edition to the Enhanced Edition on PC. Now, obviously, as we talked about last few weeks, it's a free upgrade, so there's no reason for people not to do it. So that, I think, is the intended effect, to like move people away from GTA 5 Legacy on PC and into the Enhanced Edition. Currently, it looks like that is working. GTA 5 the Legacy Edition had an all-time peak on Steam nearly 10 years ago, 9.9 years ago, of 364,548 players. Enhanced came out a week ago, and its peak is already 187,000. So it's pretty good for, effectively a 10-year-old game. Yeah. How far off are they? Like 150,000 players off?
Yeah, it's almost just about half of their original peak, but impressive given that it's now 10 years later.
Yeah, and it, as we say, it has added a whole load of new stuff. It's got ray tracing features, ambient occlusion, global illumination, ray traced shadows and reflections, support for AMD FSR and NVIDIA DLSS. It does look great. I will say that everything they've done to it makes it look amazing, and I think gives us an early look at the type of visuals that we're going to see in GTA 6 because of all of the now surface reflections, global illumination. Like when you wear a neon suit in GTA Online now, the neon that is on your clothes reflect properly off surfaces. You can walk past windows and see better reflections, and all of that kind of thing. And it's the kind of stuff that we saw in the GTA 6 trailer 1 that you were like, oh, that looks really good. It's all of those things coming together. I think it's a good sign that that's what GTA 6 is going to look like in some way. I think it's weird that Rockstar haven't put out like an official trailer showing you the visual upgrades.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that because it is quite impressive once framed in the right way. I put in the newsletter last week, like a website that has sprung up that just did that. You know, that really nice thing you could do on websites where you pull the slider across, so it wipes from one to another. Some of those screenshots weren't that impressive, but some were. And if you were Rockstar, you could do a version where you cherry pick the game looking its best and make it look really impressive. So whether that's coming down the line or they just wanted to let creators do it and not steal their thunder, I guess. Maybe that's another angle. But yeah, it does look, noticeably better, I think. Certainly in some situations.
Yeah, definitely better. There are some things that it doesn't currently support, which is any graphical mods or mods in general. So if you're using mods on the Legacy edition of GTA 5, they still work, so you can still make it look how you want. They are currently not available in the Enhanced Edition. The Enhanced Edition doesn't have an HDR setting, which is slightly strange because it is on the current console versions. The mirrors in the cars, I've seen people talking about the wing mirrors and things. They remain the same in the Enhanced Edition, so you still get like low-res reflections.
I can live with that.
5M, the role-playing stuff, isn't supported currently in the Enhanced Edition. Roleplay servers are still all running on the Legacy version. And for some reason, in-game chat is not available in the Enhanced Edition. So when you used to be in a lobby and you get all those chat messages down the side, that's just gone. There have also been some reports from the migration of your Legacy account into the Enhanced Edition not working properly and players losing their level, losing their accounts, losing progress, GTA dollars, that kind of thing, which has sort of led to this being the worst reviewed game in the series on Steam. From user reviews, we should say, because the media reviews haven't reviewed it because it feels, I guess, like the same game as the Legacy Edition. So it's currently sitting on a mixed review thing after about 18,000 reviews. And all the reviews are pretty much saying, like, the game isn't the problem. Like, all of the graphical stuff is good and it's working, but it's the transferring of accounts surrounding it that has been difficult. And I think some people haven't managed to do that at all. Some people have done it smoothly and it's been great. What it doesn't do is move your character over to this new version. So it clones your account effectively and still allows you to play on both versions of the game. So if you move over to Enhanced, you can still play on Legacy and GTA Online with your friends who haven't moved across yet. And then if you move across to Enhanced, you can play with the people who have upgraded. But what it doesn't do is link progress between those accounts.
Yeah.
So your bank account balance is going to stay the same in Legacy if you move over to Enhanced and then do a load of missions. You can't go backwards.
I guess you're incentivized then to just stay with Enhanced, because if you made a load of money in Enhanced, it's never going backwards.
No, or stay in Legacy.
Yeah,
make
sure.
A load of money and not move.
Yeah.
But eventually, you would imagine the Legacy version is going to get turned off. Otherwise, why would they do this?
Yeah, I something I think is interesting, and I didn't know this was literally how they did it. Where they, you look on the Steam charts, it's literally called Legacy, which is not rude, but there's an implication of it's a bit less good than if you're McDonald's, they go, do you want the McDonald's enhanced Happy Meal or the Legacy Happy Meal? The language would suggest to you, if there's an enhanced one offer, I'm having that, please.
Yeah, and it's the same price. It's free.
Yeah, same price, but it's enhanced. Oh, I'll take that over Legacy.
Yeah.
That you would think. So I think the language is steering people as well. I think that's quite a subtle little marker on their part. Because ultimately, you're right. I think they'll want people to flip, but they can't force you to flip. Or if they did force you to flip, they know they would sort of cut a lot of the user base off at the knees who, for whatever reason, hadn't checked in. It's bad for their business model. Yeah, they're not going to do it, are they? Yet.
No. So I guess the bigger question then is, why create two separate versions of GTA Online 8 months potentially before the release of a new game? Like, why not just hold this back or not do it at all if you're preparing to release a new version of GTA Online in about 8 months, even 12 months? Let's say it gets delayed, and like, even that feels like an interesting decision. So now for me, it looks like GTA Online in its legacy state or even in its enhanced state is going to carry on after the release of GTA 6, and GTA 6 is going to have another version of online, and these things will just all exist separately for a bit.
That does pose an interesting question. At what point does GTA 5 Enhanced become GTA 5 Legacy because there's a new GTA Online? I guess it's then called GTA 6 Online versus GTA 5 Enhanced Online or whatever.
Or it's just called GTA Online.
Yes.
And this enhanced edition is here in place on PC, at least, to offer some parity between Los Santos and Leonida when the locations coexist in some way online, and you can flip between the two cities via, they'll have to be on different servers, I'd imagine, so via a loading screen, but you can choose to be in online either in GTA 6 city or in GTA 5 city, and they are connected, like the accounts do merge. You can do that kind of thing. For me, making all these graphical improvements to GTA Online, if you're not going to do that, feels weird. Like, if you're not going to say this is going to continue on and we're just going to add in a new option somehow.
Yeah.
Now it feels more like I before didn't think that was going to happen. I thought they would just cut it and go, yeah, all right, GTA Online over here exists, but GTA Online 2.0 is here and everyone should come over here. And now I'm sort of leaning towards they're just going to add in, choose your starting city on a menu screen and you just pick Vice City or...
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. That's interesting in itself. There's another layer at play here. I was just thinking to myself. So as a PC player, you've currently got the choice of Legacy or Enhanced. Now, let's say if, as we predict, GTA 6 comes out, you're then going to have on console GTA Online as we knew it, GTA 5 Online, GTA as we knew it. Then you're also going to have whatever GTA 6 is online. The PC version, to our knowledge of GTA 6, isn't launching. It might not launch based on past patterns for another year or so. So there could be, in theory, 4 versions of GTA Online running, where you've got on PC, Legacy and Enhanced, on console, GTA 6's version of online, and then GTA 5's version of online. So there could be a period of time where there's concurrently 4 different sort of server worlds of GTA. Longer term, clearly that doesn't feel like the solution they want.
No.
At all.
Like I say, unless
Yeah.
GTA Online just has another option where you are now choosing your starting location and you can just do missions in that place, and then you can go off back to, Los Santos and do missions over there, and you just choose where you're going to start. And that's how the two things connect. I mean, it would all tie into the, GTA Americas thing of actually building that big online connected state where you have, the US effectively. Are they going to add any more in? I mean, they could then, right? Then your big updates to GTA Online is, here's Mexico. And you get 3 things to choose from, and you can just choose the city you want to go play in.
And then it does beg the question. This is really leaping ahead into imponderables, but beg the question of what's the degree of interrelatability between the 3 cities. So, like, if you're earning money, let's say in Los Santos, does that have any implication on your game in Leonida? Can you transfer funds between the 2 worlds? Are they concurrent? Are they not? What we're seeing here would say, I think you would as well if you were setting it up in an equal way. But, this current model on PC isn't that.
No.
But doesn't mean they might not change. it's a couple of other things I'm thinking about. One is, I guess, to what extent is this, what they're doing on PC, a road test of what they're planning for GTA 6 Online on consoles? Like, what does a good migration event look like? This is almost like a sort of low stakes alpha test of what the big migration is going to be on console. What are the things we got wrong? How can we do that better? So there's logic in doing this update almost for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, they have already obviously played with that for the migration from PS4 to PS5, where it was like, and that was, correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but that was a pretty much clean cut as like, you are upgrading to this edition, your other thing now does not exist. Like, it's gone.
Yes.
But you've chosen to upgrade to PS5, now just play on PS5 and carry on.
Yeah, so they've got experience. I guess just another data point of now the game's in a different state and a different visual fidelity. It's another test case for that. I also think, I guess my original point was going to be, what's the reason at all for doing GTA Enhanced? I suspected, I guess the money-headed person in me says it's because they just wanted everyone to have an additional sign-up point for GTA Plus, because they're all about ultimately making you a more valuable consumer and moving the dial on a spreadsheet per average spend. And I think that the strategic long-term plan will be to migrate people to GTA Plus. That's obviously a lot easier done if all of the active players have that as an option available to them within the version of it they're playing. So that, and then you would dress that up as if you just came out and said, we're adding one new feature to GTA Online. It's the give us more money option. People will go, well, screw you. I don't want the new give you more money option. But if you dress it up in, you're getting loads of free graphical updates and it's actually really cool, it's a Trojan horse for increased monetization.
Yeah. And we've called it enhanced, which sounds better.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, why wouldn't I get this enhanced version? Oh, it's got this option that one day will be made more prominent to me. That it's always about the money. I think that will be part of the calculus. I think part of it might be a migration test. It's just so many elements to ponder here. I'm sort of struggling to, I guess, until we have a much clearer sense of where they're going with 6 and Online, it's harder to construct the puzzle, but I think we've put some scenarios out there. Is there anything else you think we need to add around this?
No, I'd be interested to hear what you loyal listeners think about this. If you are playing on PC, have you upgraded to the enhanced edition? Are you sticking on Legacy? And what's going to happen to all those people who are on those role-playing servers and like the 5M servers that now Rockstar has a very big part of? Like, obviously they want to keep them active, but at what stage do they move them all over to enhanced, and how does that work? Time will tell. Now on to something a bit weirder and a bit more fun, and it's Rockstar's latest film promotion, which is what I called it at the top, but actually they haven't made the film. But what they have done is, on Rockstar's official Rockstar Games account on X, they have tweeted, I'm going to quote it, "From our friends Nick Love and Danny Dyer, the absolute legends behind the Football Factory, at Marching Powder, a proper naughty comedy out tomorrow in the UK and Ireland. Get tickets now at marchingpowderthemovie.com and look out for details on worldwide releases soon." Now, off the bat, just a regular tweet, that is. But what is weird about it, what I find really weird about it, is it's on the official Rockstar Games account for a movie that is not related to anything to do with Rockstar. Danny Dyer has been in a GTA game. He was in Vice City and San Andreas a long time ago, which we'll get onto. But it feels like a marketing tweet, but it's not for something that they own. And as far as I can remember, like, Rockstar's never really promoted something that isn't theirs like this.
It's the wildest thing. Not the wildest thing in the history of humanity, but for Rockstar, this feels, without having checked every single post they've ever done, it feels unprecedented. They're not in the business of randomly promoting another film. Now, we'll get into this, there is sort of a familial style link here that you could draw a line between and say, oh, that's why they've done it. But it would still be a little bit weird.
Yeah, and it's, like you say, it's not like they've done it historically or for any other people that have, they've worked with. So it's not even like, you're part of the family, we're going to promote the rest of your work. Like, that hasn't happened. And it hasn't even happened for Danny Dyer. I feel like we should add some context to who Danny Dyer is, because some people listening might not know, especially some of our American listeners.
Yes. So, yeah.
So Danny Dyer
Good
is
luck
an
to you.
English actor and presenter. His breakthrough role was in Moth, which was in Human Traffic in 1999, which I think actually the Human Traffic in the US was edited very differently than it was in the UK. So it's not really the same film. So that might not help you.
Yeah.
He's also been Billy the Limpet in Mean Machine, which came out in 2001. The Football Factory, which was 2004. He was played Tommy Johnson. All these feel like quite English-centric films and might not have made it across the ocean. He's also, in 2013, he joined the cast of the BBC soap opera called EastEnders as the role of Mick Carter. He was there until 2022. And he has won Serial Drama Performance Award at the National Television Awards in 2015, 2016, 2019. And then from 2019 to 2022, this is his greatest work, he presented a BBC game show called The Wall. More recently, Danny Dyer was in Disney Plus's Rivals.
Yes.
As Freddie Jones. Rivals is an adaptation of a 1988 Jilly Cooper novel from the same name.
Yeah.
Rivals is brilliant.
Yes, really
and
good
Danny
fun.
Dyer is really good in it.
Really good fun. It's quintessentially British, but it's translated well globally because it's essentially it's about power. It's raunchy, rude. It's fun.
There's lots of sexy cuddles in it.
Yeah.
Lots of swearing.
Yeah.
A lot of backstabbing and espionage. It's quite, GTA 5 plot-esque in its setup, and the characters, and they're all quite fun. And it's really good. You should watch Rivals. I think this relates to Danny Dyer was in Rivals. Rockstar ain't tweeting about that. But for some reason, they're tweeting about this new film.
Yeah, or they didn't tweet about The Wall, to my knowledge.
No, probably not. Now, as we said, he has been in a GTA game before. He was in Vice City. He was in San Andreas as Kent Paul.
Yeah.
Now, Kent Paul, his name is Paul. Hilariously, he's a cocky youth from Kent in England, which is great work, Rockstar. Well done. He works in the music business, claims to be a criminal mastermind. In 2002, he owned a website called Kent Paul's 80s Nostalgia Zone and was voiced by Danny Dyer. His backstory in the game is that during his youth, he was in Borstal. He moved to Vice City in 1982, which is when he was 17. He established contact with criminals, such as lawyer Ken Rosenberg, Big Mitch Baker and his biker gang, and the Scottish rock band Love Fist, where he later became the band's manager. So he has some connections to the GTA universe. And then in GTA 5, you can find Kent Paul as one of the honoured celebrities on the Vinewood Walk of Fame. But his star lists him as a movie personality. So it implies he is in the HD universe, but he might have a different background for some reason. But he does exist. And if he did still exist in the GTA 6 version, he would be around 57 years old.
Yeah.
Put you on the spot, Dan. Could Kent Paul return for GTA 6?
Yeah, of course he could.
Okay, great.
Yeah. There's more to outline there, but of course he could. Doesn't mean he will, but this entire thing is weird. We'll loop back round at the end because there is a bit more of a tidbit to add to this.
Yeah, Danny's recently been talked a little bit about this on British GQ.
Dyer is the voice of Kent Paul in the video games Grand Theft Auto Vice City and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. This is the highlight of my career, by the way. Fucking amazing job. Amazing. And I love this game. The hardest thing about it is that when you got to my mission, is that I couldn't get off my own mission and my own voice was driving me fucking insane. Fucking amazing piece of work. I only got 15 grand for it, which I thought was a lot of money. But that game went on to make billions and still is.
Now that's an edited interview on TikTok, but that's the quotes that they pulled out to highlight there, which is, it's interesting that they've got Danny Dyer, who's clearly doing promo for his new film, Marching Powder, but is quite willing to talk about his time from a game a long time ago. Good research from British GQ there, I'm going to say, but you know, he's quite the person for speaking his mind and not being, you know, too reserved. I would say if he was going to be in GTA 6, he is exactly the kind of person who would just say it out loud and go, oh, well, I've said that now.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to disparage his professionality, but he's very straight talking, and you could imagine him accidentally saying something.
Yeah, more of in like a Tom Holland kind of way of like, uh-oh.
Accidental blurt out. I mean, he's, again, to add to the layer of who is Danny Dyer, I mean, as James has just said, he's a guy who likes swearing a lot. He's your quintessential British geezer. What I always find amusing, Danny Dyer has a daughter, name Danny Dyer.
Danny Dyer, spelt differently.
Yeah, spelt slightly differently. And it's not even like the American thing of it's Danny Dyer Jr. She's like Danielle Dyer. Danny Dyer. So it's Danny Dyer and Danny Dyer. Geezer. It's properly, he's properly wild. He's got a massive cob on for politicians. He hates Keir Starmer. Didn't have much love for Boris Johnson. He's just a real straight talker. So I can see a world where he got put on the spot and maybe blurted something. That isn't what he's done.
No.
He's just said, and I'm surprised, this is, you know, in itself a kind of tell. This is the highlight of my career, by the way. That's quite a big thing, given he's, I mean, all right, he's done things like The Wall, but he's got quite a storied career.
Yeah.
Certainly in the UK, he's done quite a lot of things. So I guess it's testament to GTA, and I guess also how he thinks about GTA. Allow me to throw something in there that isn't true, but I think is fun, if you wanted to go full Inception on all of this. Kent Paul's origin backstory talks about him being in Borstal in England. What if Rockstar wanted to create a connected universe where they did some kind of Bully remaster where young Kent Paul crosses worlds and then it ties to an appearance. So he's in a Bully remaster to come out sometime in the next few years, twin to a Link as an older character in GTA 6. If you were mapping a connected universe, that might be something you could do. I am not saying they will. That's purely me throwing out of funsies.
It would be hilarious that the first character in Rockstar's interconnected universe is Kent Paul.
Oh, it's Danny Dyer. Yeah, that would be just unbelievably brilliant. That's why I think it's funny and hilarious. I don't think that's true. I just think it's funny. But it's to come back to the root of all of this, IGN wrote literally an article on this that said, why have Rockstar done this? And then explained it, but didn't actually explain why, because nobody can. So it's either they've decided to start doing this as a policy and they're running their account. For example, if this was Hideo Kojima, you go, well, that's just what he does. He's constantly bigging up movies he's seen, people
on his
he's
personal
met.
account.
Yeah, he's constantly shouting out other creators he likes.
He's not doing that on the Death Stranding 2 account.
Well, no, he absolutely isn't. And it's a massive step change for Rockstar. So unless we start seeing more tweets for them that big up various bits of media or music, I find this a bit weird.
It's not. I mean, at first of all, I thought maybe it's a paid promotional tweet.
That'd be even wilder.
But there's no ad tags on it or anything. Like it feels organic, and it's not even like it's been taken down. You know, like somebody from the team was accidentally logged into the account and was tweeting about it on their personal account, because it's not even written in a personal account way. It's written in a very much like, you know, marketing type way. So it's weird. All of it is weird.
Something I wonder about is, could the director of this film, Nick Love, just somehow be friends with, part of a peer group or friends group with, say, Sam Houser? And I don't know that to be true. I'm just throwing that out as a reason it might be a thing. Now, like, Sam Houser's born in 1971. Nick Love was born in 1969. They were of a comparable-ish era when they may have crossed lanes in schools, social circles, whatever. I could be really off base there.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of thing where you could go, if anyone has the power to pervert what the Rockstar account do, it might be, oh my God, he's our boss, we're just going to do it. He said we've got to do a favour for someone.
Maybe.
Like
But
maybe.
even then.
But it's wild, right? It's
Even
wild.
then,
It's wild.
it
But you
doesn't
can
make
see a
sense.
world where that could happen. If Sam Hauser said, we're going to do it, someone might go, but it's not an art style guide. And he would go, it is now.
Yeah, just this one time. And no one will find that weird or talk about it.
Yeah.
or make,
But that's
write
what I mean.
articles
But it's
about it.
still super conspicuous. Does it mean he's in GTA 6? We literally don't know. But it's worth noting this is anomalous within the history of Rockstar's social promotion.
Yeah.
And is therefore suspicious or notable.
There's also, off on a different tangent, there is a spiritual successor to Ken Paul in GTA Online. His name is English Dave. Now, Dan, his name is Dave. He is from England.
Oh, he's not Scottish.
Great work. But he's very much like the Ken Paul personality in GTA Online. He's speaks in a strong Cockney accent, uses British slang and phrases during dialogue, and commonly refers to the city of London, although I imagine it's like Landan. That was my Cockney accent.
It's like Danny Dyer.
It's like he's in the room.
Is Danny Dyer in the room with us?
No, because there was not enough swearing. That's what's happened there. But all in all, like, obviously he's not going to appear in GT Online. It feels like they've covered that base with English Dave. Could he come into GTA 6? As you said, there's a possibility here. Does promoting the film hint at that in some way? No. But even having said that, it's a very strange tweet. And now a little update from us on if the industry is secretly suggesting that the fall 2025 release date for GTA 6 is still on track. Now, I say this because there's been a few release date announcements in the last week or so, which have conspicuously avoided, let's say, Q4 of 2025. We've had Mafia, which is obviously a Take-Two game, which is coming summer 2025. Death Stranding 2, a few days ago, released its release date trailer, and that's coming June 26th, 2025.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Delta, August 28th. Borderlands 4, September 23rd. So nothing past September, like early October, basically, so far has been like had a firm date put on it. And then my question would be, is this the industry clearing the way for GTA 6? We know that they don't want to compete with it because why would you? And I think something like the Death Stranding 2 release date is interesting because would they and other people have released that game that early in the year, early, June 26th, if GTA 6 wasn't looming on the horizon?
What I think is, do all the other publishers know factually when GTA 6 is coming out? I would suspect no. But what I do believe is they, like us, believe that Take-Two aren't lying. And at this point in time, they're taking them at face value. It's fall 2025. They're clearly not. The difference. There's always a difference in all of reality between what people say and what they do. And what the publishers are doing are acting in a way that shows they believe that GTA is coming.
Yeah.
So Death Stranding's an interesting one. I didn't know this offhand until I Googled it. In what month did the original Death Stranding release?
I'm going to guess June.
The original one.
Or November.
November.
There we go.
Because, for whatever reason, Sony at that point in time believed November was the best time to release that game. There might be other reasons they've changed their mind about it. Or the reason might be it's not good to put it up against the biggest game of the last decade.
Yeah.
They're not like for like, but they are both big, massive AAA experiences that are going to suck weeks out of your life. Personally, I'm really excited about both of them, and I wouldn't want to have to choose between both of them at the same time. It would be weird. So I'm glad the industry is. I don't think they're doing it out of benevolent reasons. That they're doing it because they just don't want to get completely crushed or outsold, or have the conversation rooted around one game over another. So I think that particularly the Death Stranding release date just feels a little bit weird to me. Like a game releasing in the height of summer of that profile is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, and then we've got the examples of Take-Two, who you'd think might have a little bit more of an inkling when that game is coming out.
Yeah.
Positioning Borderlands September 23rd and Mafia in the summer, which is, June, July, August time, around the same kind of time. So there's a lot of things happening that, as you say, suggests that the fall 2025 date is being believed by, more than just us.
Yes.
The rest of the industry.
The industry believes it to be true or cannot discount it as a risk factor. They can't flippantly put their game into that window hoping it will slip, because it's a decision that could be financially devastating for them.
What this did lead me to think is, could a delay for GTA 6 actually be better for them from a Game of the Year / award season perspective? And would they even care about that? Because now you're getting quite a lot of huge games coming out in the 2025 calendar. At the beginning of the year, we had like Civilization 7, got Split Fiction, Assassin's Creed Shadows is about to come out, Last of Us Part 2 is going on PC, got Doom the Dark Ages, Elden Ring, Night Rain. Now we've got Death Stranding 2, Borderlands 4, Ghost of Yotei from Sony. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is meant to come out this year. Let's see if it does. But there's quite a few games in there now that could take some of those awards where you'd instantly say, well, GTA 6 is coming out, it's going to win everything. Some of those games might end up taking some of those things away from it. And certainly from a Game of the Year perspective, it's now, it's still an open and shut case, I will agree. But there are things in there now that feel like actually some of these things might have a chance to at least come second.
Yeah, I think to go back to your original question, I don't think they'd care. I think they've got a confidence that it launches when it's ready and everyone else has to get in line and deal with it. I agree. I think that if they do enter the GOTY conversation with some of those titles you mentioned, it may lead to some split loyalties. And it's difficult for me to say, as we work together on an award show, so we know how they work. And maybe with a purely judging panel, you could see a scenario maybe where, say, something like Death Stranding 2 or possibly like Clear Obscura would nudge out a GTA in a key category. I think in a popular vote, it's unlikely to ever go any other way than GTA, just because of the scale of it. It's just how scale works. But even looking at this, you've made a list for our script of big games coming out this year. We know Split Fiction is good. That's come out, but it's niche good.
Yeah, it will win multiplayer game.
Yeah, exactly that. It's almost a shoo-in for that already, or some variant of that sort of genre award. There's good notes around Clear Obscura. Mm-hmm. Whether it is remembered in 6 months' time, we'll wait and see. The game's sort of out in April. Like, will it still be front of mind by the time, even Death Stranding will have been 3-4 months old by the time other games come out. So I think GTA's looking pretty good. Like, whatever it does, I just don't think that would be a factor in their thoughts. I think it would be an accidental potential win, but you just don't know. And look, maybe next year it's Switch 2 and they've got an amazing launch game and everyone says it's the best game ever made.
Well, next year they'll just release GTA 6 Plus edition and then it can win all the awards
GTA 6, maybe PC, maybe it's even too soon for the PC edition.
Yeah, I think, as you say, Game of the Year, if everything comes out this year as it's supposed to, GTA 6 is winning that. I guess it's just some of the other categories, the storytelling, visual design, all of that, like best performance, all of that kind of stuff. You could see there being some kind of, like you say, split vote between a couple of these other games in there, even though you'd go, well, it's GTA. Of course it's going to be brilliant. With the announcement of some of these things, like, Death Stranding has a lot of Hollywood named actors in it.
Yeah, it's going to have some acting. Whether it's good acting, who knows? Yeah. It's also, without even playing the finished game, it's going to be an extremely good-looking game. Like, that trailer looks at times unbelievably good. Like, GTA might technically be even better than that, but we just don't know, right? We haven't seen enough of it. Like, the early gameplay trailer, it feels comparable-ish, but it's talking more about, then it's beyond technical factors and more about composition and framing, and best visual design might come down to, well, GTA was good, but it was a realistic Leonida. or Miami, where Death Stranding is, the world's biggest moon over the planet with the rainbows, and it just looks amazing. Let's wait and see. Right? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hilarious that we've seen 10 minutes of Death Stranding 2 just because of the way that trailer works, and 1 minute of GTA, and both those games.
Yeah,
are
well,
coming out this year.
we've seen almost 30 minutes of Death Stranding 2 across the trailers they've released.
Yeah, and there's probably 1.5 trailers because of
yeah, and well, maybe, and that game's out quite soon, and they've shown a lot of hands, and I dare say it will be still packed full of surprises and twists and turns. We've just goes to show we've seen really almost nothing of GTA, and this is again like a massive sidebar, and maybe that's good, and maybe that's deliberate, because I've seen a lot of other creators talk about how. I think it was Mike York talked about this, the ex-Rockstar who we've spoken to, haven't we, Mike York?
Mm-hmm.
He'd said on whether it was our show or other shows, just saying Rockstar like that. They like to maintain the mystique. So it's a very deliberate strategy not to show their hand, not to give too much away. So it's all for our own good.
Yes. Well, let's wait and see. Okay, let's wrap up this episode then, Dan. Episode 64. I'm going to get the number right this week because I know some of you pointed out that I got it wrong last week. Thank you very much. So episode 64, as we said at the very top, the newsletter is active. It is live. We will tweet about how you can sign up for it. Please share it around. You'll get a condensed version of this show in written form. Isn't that lovely? You can follow us on Twitter at GTAVOclock, and you can drop us an email, gtavio'clock@gmail.com. And we will be back next week for another episode of GTA 6 O'Clock.